From this to this.
You are all successful. Equally, each and every one of you here right now carries the same accountable success in your business, unless you choose otherwise.
It was quite cold last night, as you see. There's a bit of hat on. Yeah, it's quite different to what I expected. There's a lot that I still have to do yet to make this a all year round mobile office and living space, or accommodation. Let's call it accommodation because I have a home to live in. Yeah, lots of drafts and things. Find yourself waking up with cold spots. Yeah. So what's your first thought in the morning? This is probably the most important part of your day. This time in the morning, what do you think? How do you align? What is it you say to yourself before you get out of the sheets, before you step out your bed and take those first steps into your day? Hugely important. Do you reach for your phone? Do you suffocate your subconscious with social media first thing for breakfast before you've even put anything physically in your body? Do you find yourself going over the negative things of the day before, the week before, the month before? Do you practice doubt? Or do you find yourself springing into your day? Now here's the thing, consistency. I usually have my mantra of my moment. So, it could be that I'm focusing on my health and strength. It could be them focusing on a particular mindset, whether it be consistency in the business, consistency in or the quality of love that I offer my wife, my children. Could it be consistency in making sure I walk my dogs every day? Consistency of client abundance, financial health, all kinds of things. Really think about the consistency of what you're thinking each day. Is it fractured? Do you find yourself one day really eager up? You're running with your thoughts and excitement, positivity, guaranteed delivery because of how you're feeling, as if you've had 10 cups of coffee before you've got up. You find your stamina and everything is going, and then the next day you feel very different, and you go with that different feel, which could be, I don't have the same belief as what I had yesterday. And that's the thing with your thought process. You have to be persistent, not stubborn. Stubborn and persistence. Stubbornness and persistence are two different things. We'll talk about those today. But you have to be persistent. You have to carry the same quality and train your mind to do that. It's like anything. We have to keep filtering out and be sure to ourselves of how it is we wish to utilize the most important, most powerful part of our own being, and that is our mind. So really give thought to maintaining a consistent process of thought that aligns you in your day and the outcome of your day continuously. So it means that it will always have a forward momentum. always, and it's doable. It's very easy. Once you find yourself in that place, you find that it's actually such an easier, healthy way of living, and it becomes very natural. Some people find it frustrating when they're around people that don't have negative thoughts, don't have negative conversations, don't see negativity in people. I mean, why? People are the way they are because they choose to be, not because they deserve to be judged. When we judge someone, generally we are judging someone from an experience we've had in the past that's hurt our feelings. And then we're putting those feelings to that person, somewhat claiming that they are the same as that hurt we felt in the past. Think about that. So think about your morning start every day and make sure that it has consistency. Don't dive into your phone. Don't fill your subconscious with digital craziness. Yeah, let's call it that. Don't do that. If you have a book by the side of your bed, then pick that up and read. Fill your mind with positive information. But learn to do that automatically.
So here's the thing. Stubbornness and persistence, you know, they're probably the most prominent and poignant ingredient that I see in most business owners, executive, careers-minded people that creates burnout. There's signs. There's a huge difference in both emotions. I want you to think long and hard about this. Stubbornness is often camouflaged as a positive, as a effective efficiency within a person when pushing hard to create their own business, or to grow the business, to expand it, or even in a career where, you know, to get to that next place of I don't know, a promotion, all these things that we reach out for in careers. But stubbornness actually comes from a place of doubt. When we are stubborn, what we're doing is we are repeating a process that actually has no outcome, only a repeated event over and over and over. See, stubbornness comes from experiences that created no growth, but created a desire to grow, but with no outcome from that desire because it's not in alignment with who you are. So let's go into persistence, and we'll bounce back and forth with this. Persistence now is very similar to stubbornness, but it has a purpose. So it means that when you're persistent, you're giving something thought, always in the purpose of why you are driving and pushing hard in that particular place of thought, physical event, planning, goal setting, and so on. When you're persistent, you mean that you constantly are remapping, reshaping, and reanalyzing, assessing what is the next step, the next idea, the next process, the next meeting, whatever it may be. But when you're persistent, you are constantly seeing the reason, the purpose, the why, the what, the how for the next stage, the next goal, and so on. But stubbornness comes from childhood. Stubbornness comes from not getting our own way, or
feeling disappointed. Stubbornness comes from being hurt. Stubbornness comes from so many places of, I'm going to say, low belief. That's where stubbornness lives. And then persistence actually means you have to think about what you're doing. Now, myself, I've only noticed that I've been practicing stubbornness more than persistence these last couple of weeks. And how I realized that is that, you start to get run down and you start to feel lethargic, in a sense of low energy. Your quality of thinking gets lower and fumbled is what I'd like to say. You find yourself very random in keeping consistency in how you think in your day, your business, and so on, or just your life. And I know I a little cold sore, and then that tells me, okay, Paul, what are you doing? You're doing something here that is not in alignment, because your body is saying to you, you are stressing yourself now. And that stubbornness, I mean, a big part of this was that I was stubborn in getting it done in a particular timeline when it wasn't reasonable. In fact, I went into this project thinking that 4 to 6 weeks I could have this van from 0 to Milo, but that was just not a reasonable ask of myself. But I kept going, and it took me near enough, I think, about 12 weeks, and pushing sort of 15, 16, 18-hour days to get it to the place where it is now ready. And that somewhat was foolish, because I lost patience, and that's where stubbornness comes from also. Stubbornness lives and is married to a lack of patience, no patience. It loves no patience, because it means when you have no patience for something and you're not practicing patience in your business, it means that then you're becoming stubborn, and you are then replaying that drive, that negative drive. And then we wonder why it is the outcome's not happening, why it is the return of effort is not happening, or your return on investment is not coming to expectancy. And that's because stubbornness is being played. Again, persistence, think about that. Persistence means you have to map out. You have to ask yourself the whys for the ideas and really break those down using whatever tools you want, they're all out there, those star and maps and all those kinds of things that are out there. Trust me, I've got an abundance of them in my laptop for sure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop a little PDF in below and download it, and what it'll do is just think about each end of day and practice this for maybe 14-21 days. So print enough off to cover your 21-day planner, let's say, and each day we really think about your stubborn side and your persistent side that you've practiced in your day, and really think about what it is, where you feel stubbornness sits with your ideas and persistence sits. And you'll know, because you'll see that actually I've been practicing or pushing this way for weeks and I'm still not getting there. That's stubbornness. And then you'll find that the other ideas just come together so easily. That's persistence. Because persistence loves quality thinking. Stubbornness loves doubt. Give that some thought. People often think that persistence is something that is easily understood. It took me a long time to really kind of get my head around the quality of true persistence over stubbornness, and I kind of this taught me a lot. Riding a bike and riding it at the best that I could really give me an understanding of what persistence is, where stubbornness, you find that you kind of lose wind after a while. So
what's in your life? What are you introducing into your life? Or what can you introduce into your life in order to help maintain that quality of thought? Remember, we have to filter. This is my exhaust, basically. Biking is something that is really helps me to clear out. You know, I remember I'm an extrovert. An introvert, like my wife, she loves books, and that's her exhaust. So put something in there. So again, on that PDF, right, put some goals in there that you feel are going to really help you have a daily routine and be your exhaust, to help filter out and keep reframing and keep driving up the quality of your persistence approach to running your business and growing your career. I've had quite a few people ask me how the van was going and the build, and so many people wanted me to put footage onto the channel, stage by stage, you know, build of the van. And I didn't want to make it a van build channel. I mean, there's so many of that out there, for sure. But you know, she's certainly been an experience for me. You know, I've not built a van before. I have a design background, so that certainly did help me somewhat. But yeah, it was a lot that I didn't think about. And you know, anybody going into a mobile office van build, I think it's a great experience, and it's something you should consider for sure. Because you know, today this is my workstation. This is where I am here today. But let me tell you a little bit about the van and the cost and things. We'll do a bit of a kind of tour, perhaps inside. But the van purchase itself, the van is 22-year-old. She's 1998, if my maths are correct. And so yeah, she's as old as my eldest daughter. She was an import, and I paid 5,700 for her. Not a lot of money. Well, it depends on what money is like for you, but you know, for a van that basically came with a day setup. It had units and a kind of built-in fridge, and it has, you know, pumping water, so it's plumbed for water, and there's a storage underneath. So it came for say a day, but I wanted something that had the pop-up. I wanted the pop-up roof, not for all year round, because I'm going to use the van 12 months of the year. And I know that come the depth of the winter, that bit of canvas that pops up is not going to be warm enough, because I'm already, you know, we're just in March, and we're coming into spring, and I'm certainly still feeling how cold it gets in the night there. So that was important for me, for that stand-up convenience, especially when I'm zooming with clients and it's too wet to be outside. I can stand up and zoom from that angle. Yes, so that was important for me. But in all, I think that I pulled out the whole inside. I gutted the van and to do a restart, which was a good thing, because these Chinese imports, yeah, you'd think it'd been sat at the ocean for 10 years, because there was so much rust under there, and there was a fair bit of welding to do. So you know, she's an old girl, and she's certainly needs a bit of TLC, and I knew I was going to go into that kind of project, as I said in a previous video. But you know, there were a few things that I wanted to be sure that I added in there, and that was the convenience of being able to work, being able to sleep, being able to cook. You know, cooking is important to me. It's a big part of what I enjoy in life, so I wanted to make sure I had that in there. And you know, things like a toilet, a little portaloo and things are important for me also. And you know, if I'm being truthful, I've probably overdone this, because I really have sacrificed somewhat inches of room to create more inches of storage, and that's because, you know, biking is part, and when you bring in a lot of biking kit with you, office kit, your own clothes, and all the sundries and food that comes with that, you realize that you really have to look at how you minimize, for sure. So all in all, I think the whole thing was about 10k, 11k max. You know, I've got receipts for everything because this is a business venture, it's a business project, and you know, I'm self-employed, so everything goes to tax, and that's what we're going to do with this. And I have a very good accountant who said, you know, yeah, Paul, this can happen. So think about that. So let's go in, let's have a little look. I don't think I've given that thought to really what I needed and what I didn't need. And when building a van, I really suggest that you kind of map it out more than 2 or 3 times. Kind of remap and remap and remap what you feel that inside wants to look like, or the purpose of it, you know, what the functionality needs to be for you. But setting that aside, I'm still pleased with what I'm getting out of the van even at this early stage, for sure. So I guess we'll kind of start with the important things though that I need in the van. So let's go there first. Let's start here. Probably one of the most important things that in any van, motorhome, is comfort of sleep, bed. Now I didn't go for the rock and roll type. Actually, I'm not sure why. Maybe inexperience, maybe not knowing enough about the van build priorities. I don't know, but I decided to make my own. So I made this kind of so it's a large kind of relaxing couch in the day, and then in the night it extends out. This I built it so the side flips up and gives me an extra maybe 8 or 9 inches, and then this back piece here, and we see this back piece here is Velcro. It comes off and extends the bottom piece for me to fit my length. I'm only 5'8" on a long day, so it kind of works. Under here, loads of storage. I've got my leisure batteries, I've got my my shower, my water heater. Yeah, I have to pull it out and sort of fix it onto the back of the van, and maybe an outdoor shower, who knows. And also it's where I can keep my mountain bike shoes, dirty stuff, things like that under there. So that fits us, yeah, the bed. So I kind of put it together. It's working right now. I'm sure that as things change, then I guess I'll upgrade, who knows. This brings us into the hub of the home, the kitchen. I have well, you know, my hat in there for sure. I have a 2 gas ring, or 2 gas, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But yeah, I get two saucepans on there, or a big wok. I like to wok stuff. I'm a big stir fry man, you know, vegetables is a big thing for me. Yeah, so that's important. And I got plenty of show you plenty of food storage here, you know, these things. So you just get a couple of containers and stuff, and just get all my priorities in there, you know. And of course, you gotta put somewhere to wash up in the morning. I like to make sure I got somewhere to brush my teeth and spit it out. And whoa, all the waters and all the, yeah, this is dirty water and fresh water, the zumpings under there, and yeah, and of course we have here then yes, this is a cooler, but my fridge had to go back. Yeah, sadly, amongst tons of other things, van industry is not very reliable when it comes to quality kit, you know. At least this is my experience. But yeah, my fridge had to go back, and now I'm using an old Halford's cooler that is doing the job. But yeah, so let's move on quickly. Here for me was my priority. How it was going to work, how I could work for a few hours at a time, be comfortable, plenty of air, plenty of space, elbow space, and above all, place for yeah, digital technology, laptop and things. So
I have this. So first of all, you see, now the bongos don't come with reversible seats, so I have to send this one away, and to a company that specializes in building the mechanics under the seat, where I can just pull out the little system, raise the seat and turn it around. So this works really well. It's spacious for me. I can put the window down, the door is open, and yeah, it's great. The curtains may be just a little bit impractical there right now, but hey, that's something I can work out later. But it is, the table is just fantastic, you know, this little thing, you know. Though I must say that the quality amongst a lot of things in the van industry, the quality is like overcharged and underthought, but this one, you know, it does everything I wanted to do. Look at that, it just spins round. I've got my phone there, my laptop here, and boom boom boom, got myself a little dongle. And I'm in an area right now that's like a kind of black spot. There's very little reception here, if any, but my dongle is managing to get me something. So I'm able to zoom from here, which I'll be doing today on my calls and things, and yeah, it really works well. So just enough space. I can put a little mouse here if I want, and in the driver's seat then I've got my bag, my office bag, which is effectively my traveling filing cabinet. That's got all my bits in there that I need, and of course all my camera equipment and things. And then when I'm traveling, of course, I'll just put it away, but it works as a great storage area while I'm working.
Storage. My Achilles heel. I am a just-in-case person. So I kind of built the van to accommodate that emotional habit, which was one of my biggest mistakes. By building more storage space means I bring more kit. Yeah, exactly. More kit, more things in the way, more things to get lost. Yeah, so I built a ton of storage. Everywhere there's storage in this van. Over storage. But hey, but one last thing, you know what? When you're a man of my age, that little boy there, he's my priority. Yeah, I have to get up a few times a night and have wee-wees, so that's that was one of the first purchases. There you go. That's our tour. That's my office, mobile office. Let's talk a little bit about the van industry. You know, the van industry, I'm going to put it into two parts. 80-20, we've all heard those numbers, married together for how long? In the business world for sure, 80-20. 20% of the van industry is very much great quality and severely overpriced. Now, that doesn't take into account the cost of materials, because apparently, you know, this lightweight durable wood that's used is pretty expensive per meter. Yeah, that's 20% is very much that, and so far out the reach in timeline now, because the whole van life world is saturated with people. And why not do what I've done here and built myself a mobile office to take my business, bring my business closer into my life values. So if you're looking to get a van converted and the price is probably affordable after buying a van, then that 20% is not going to fit your market. One, you'll have a timeline of perhaps 3 to 6 months before they can look at your van. And secondly, you're looking probably double the cost of what I paid for this van to get it kitted out. Something like this here, obviously I'm going to say that far more durable and with greater storage ideas than what I put in. You know, I put in my ideas that fit me. Understand, this van is built to my spec, not to the spec of a 10k fit, for sure. But that 20% is really out of reach for a lot of people. Then you go to the 80% of the van life market, and you'll find that 79% of those offering materials and products for the van life market on Facebook Marketplace, most definitely eBay, of course. And that's when it changes. Then you're purchasing from the hobbyist, who perhaps is making beds, whether it's a rock and roll frame bed style thing or pull-out bed style, you know, cabinets made out of, you know, very cheap wood, and but affordable for sure. Then you're going to cut your cost in half. Then you may be faced with some of the issues I had, which was, you know, I went to a local van build stroke specialist apparently, and took my van there. The little apprentice chappie came out and measured up the inside, and I said, "You sure you know what you're doing?" And yeah, well, when I picked up my flat packed interior, it was nothing like I paid for. Certainly didn't fit anywhere, and it meant that I had easily a week's worth of redesign and recutting and reshaping what I purchased. And on reaching out to the company, they didn't want to take any accountability at all. And that's the same for several other things. That, you know, the fridge came, didn't work at all. I'm not saying that is, you know, that's a trade of the van life providers. I'm just saying that for me there was lots of sequences of experiences where I found myself purchasing because I was on a budget from individuals that were basically hobbyists in the van life industry, because it's grown so fast that right now it's a very young industry, and sadly it's got saturated with a lot of opportunists. Now, I'm a big fan of an opportunist in business, but guys, let's have the quality with that also. That's just my thoughts. So coming back, what created the stubbornness for me? Why did I get stubborn, you know, in wanting to reach that timeline of being actually out, which should have been the first week of Feb, but I'm effectively the second week of March. I adopted stubbornness within that project because what I was receiving from the van build world was ill-designed and ill-ready, which meant that I had to then sort of, I say, redesign things. I should have stepped back and pushed my timeline back, but I didn't. And I want to think about those things. You think about your projects, your career, your home life. Think about that, and think about which part again is being driven by stubbornness and which part is being driven by persistence. Because if I used persistence, then I would have said, okay, Paul, you're going to be looking at probably the beginning of April. Be sensible in your timeline, and my health wouldn't deteriorated. You know, emotionally I wouldn't deteriorated also, because it was a tough couple of weeks there. Happy days. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like, send me a comment, I'll be there. And also big thanks to Rush Cycles there. They're helping to support my channel. I'm a big fan of mountain biking, so he helps me a lot there. Yeah, you go on the internet, you'll find those guys. It's going to take me certainly a bit of adjustment to really understand what I don't need to bring. Now, this may sound easy for some people, but when you're someone that has to bring more in case you need it for another experience, it's quite a task for sure. Today I head back. I've been out here a couple of days, learned a lot about van life for sure, although I'm not life in a van, I'm office in a van, with the ability to cook and sleep. So I think it's van life, I think it's lifestyle, van lifestyle. Okay, well, thank you rural Wales, my homeland, and I never actually get tired of it. It's beautiful here. A couple of days of thinking, a couple of days of biking, a couple of days of social networking, a couple of days of just business and lifestyle. Happy days. Time to go back to my dear wife and dogs and family. Let's go.